what should I look for when shopping for windows?
Ooh, Windows is such a big one. I could probably talk for an hour just about this, but okay, I'll give you a breakdown of different styles of Windows first. So if I get them all. So you have like fixed windows, which is really just a pane of glass. You can have sliding windows, so they slide side to side. You can have hung windows, so that's where they're sliding up to open them. You can have double hung windows, which slide down and slide up. You can have casement windows, which have the cranks, so they're opening like on a hinge and they have the crank system. And then you can have tilt and turn windows, which would be the European style. So they have a handle, if depends on the manufacturer, but usually if it's down, it's locked. If it's horizontal, it'll swing in. And if you lift it all the way up, it'll tilt in. And then if for those doors, you can actually get lift and slide doors where they tilt in to give you a little bit of ventilation, but then they lift up and they can actually slide. And then the thing is that when they lock, they actually drop and they seal properly. So if you're looking at air sealing, if anything that needs to slide is going to have some air leakage. And air leakage is when we're talking about building high performance homes, we want to make our homes as tight as possible. So if you put in, sliding windows or hung windows or single hung windows, or double hung windows, there's going to be air leakage just because of how those windows work. Same with casement windows. I have casement windows in my own home, but there's definitely going to be air leakage around the crank itself because that crank has to go to the outside to open that window. There is seals around it, but there's going to be some air leakage likely around there. The best window, the ones that seal the best, and why you find them in Europe a lot, is the tilt and turns. The thing about tilt and turns is that they swing in, so not everybody wants their windows to swing in. That's why we didn't go with them in our home, because we have our walls are about 2 feet thick because of insulation, and we have these nice big window sills, and we didn't want to have a window that swings in and basically doesn't allow us to use our nice deep window sills that we can put whatever we want on. The other thing too is that you can get the European style casement, which is really a tilt and turn, but that goes outwards. The issue is we have a lot of bugs where we live, so your screen would have to be on the inside. So you basically have to open your screen to open or close your window, and that's not going to work because if you're at night and you get all your moths on your window, it's not fun. So those are the different styles of windows. So everybody has different styles. Depending on what you're looking for, depending on the look that you're going for, it's going to vary on what you should put into your home. I'm an advocate for casement or tilt and turns just because those two windows seal the best. The other thing you're going to want to look at is the double glaze or triple glaze. I would say go triple glaze. Triple glaze means 3 panes of glass with 2 air spaces, usually with argon gas and low E coatings. And depending on your low E coatings and how many, there's going to be all sorts of things. It's going to affect how your glass interacts. So when you get into high performance buildings, you're going to be looking at, you might even get krypton gas, which performs better than argon. You pay for all this stuff, but if you're working with a builder or a renovator and a window company who knows what they're doing, they can work with you through all these things. To give you an example, we have triple glazed windows in our home. Some of them have argon gas, some of them have krypton gas, depends on what side of the house they're at. Also, the south-facing glass has a higher SHGC, which stands for solar heat gain coefficient. And what that does is that we wanted to get the heat from the sun into our home. So we have overhangs that block the sun in the warmer months, the summer, and then the sun drops below those overhangs and actually comes in the winter and helps heat our home on the sunny days. And the nice thing is usually when it's sunny, it's in the middle of the winter, it's actually really cold those days. So we actually need more heat those days. So that's nice. The other thing you'll want to look at is the material that your window is being built with. So PVC, aluminum, wood, are the frames insulated as well? Because that all plays into a factor. So be careful when you're going into these window companies. If they're saying that their window performs to a certain standard, ask them if that includes the whole window assembly, not just the glass. Because a lot of them will say that they have a certain R value. Windows are measured in U value, which is like not exactly the inverse, but a side note on that. But windows will be measured in U value. So the lower the U value, the better. Whereas R value, which is usually for walls and insulation, that's the insulation, how well the insulation performs, that's going to be higher. So when you're looking at those things, make sure that the performance that they share for your window includes everything. Ideally, you want something that doesn't transfer too much heat or cold. So aluminum windows, if it's aluminum all the way through, that's going to transfer right through into the house. Fiberglass would be a good one. PVC, although it's not the best for the environment, neither is fiberglass. Doesn't transfer as much heat or glass. Wood only has a certain R value. So make sure you think of all those things. Wood only has a certain R value. It can only go so high. But when you're looking at wood too, you might want to think about maintenance. So really, it's never one size fits all. It's figure out what works best for you, what you're trying to accomplish, looks, aesthetics, same thing, performance, color, like all those things play in a factor. So work closely with your window supplier or your builder, depending on who you are, whether you're a home builder or builder yourself. But just make sure you got everybody on the right team. Energy advisor is a very important person to work with on this, and obviously your designer. But the energy advisor is going to tell you what performance you need for each window in your home.